How to make a graph, part one, take one. So the first thing to do with making a graph, you've got to know what you want to graph. Okay, and there's going to be different things that we're looking to compare. Basically, we have temperature is probably the main thing that other factors are revolving around. So we're going to start with graphing temperatures and doing some temperature comparisons. Then eventually we're going to compare sunlight hours and angles with temperatures. And then we're going to compare how much and precipitation info with temperatures. So first, we just want to start making the graph. So let's go over the first steps of making a graph, how to get it going. Now you've got all of these cities and towns that you're potentially thinking about moving to or visiting. And with these cities and towns, they need to have our baseline. Our comparison is going to be coming back to Rome most of the time. You'll eventually make some graphs that don't include Rome. But to start, we need to get a graph going with Rome. So step one is you're going to highlight, click and drag the months, because this is based off of months. Now, I wish I could show you this, but I'm holding control, hold control, hold control, and then highlight the thing that you want the line to be drawn of. So we're going to have temperature get drawn for Rome, and I'm going to insert chart. Now it made a bar graph. It thinks that it's doing a comparison from month to month, which this would work for 1 month, but we're going to graph many different locations or multiple locations, so bar graph won't work for us. So the next step is we need to change this to, let me move this out of the way. We need to change this to a line graph. So I could click this one or this one. I just usually go with this right there. That works. There's other things you can click. But this gets it going. And this is pretty well taken care of so far, okay? Now we're going to need to add graphs onto this, which we will do with tomorrow's video. But let's just get this graph started in the right spot. So first, we need to figure out what are we going to compare. So we've got to answer one of our daily questions. So when we look at our daily questions, the first one is, how does latitude affect temperature? So we're going to make a graph that shows that. So if I can click on the right tab to go back to that, how does latitude affect temperature? So I put that for my title. Okay. Average high temp, it automatically, since we have a good data table, it fills in this information nicely for us. And if you remember way back when, to customize, we're going from 0 to 100, and our temperatures aren't going to get that high. They actually do for some places, so we might want to leave 100. But I don't believe I have any temperatures that are getting less than 25 for my lows. But we're going to zoom in just a bit, and we can adjust this later on if we want to. But remember earlier in the year, we zoomed in on our vertical axis with our minimum and maximum values. So for right now, I'm going to change this graph to go from 25 to 90. And once I do that, it starts to really get into the data, showing it in more detail. Okay, and I like that it shows it in more detail because I can see and make some comparisons easier. So that's the first step in making a graph, is getting it all set up. Tomorrow we will add on other lines. We're going to choose which cities go with that, and I'll show you how to add them on. But for right now, you just make sure that you have all of your basics down, and then we can use this to go from there.